Hello and welcome to Age Well Yoga. I'm Sue, and in this class today, we're going to be toning the body and focusing on our core and our glutes, so getting a shapely backside. And today we're going to be thinking as we go through about things that we don't like. So if there's a pose that you don't like, when you notice that coming up, or you're just not so happy with the pose, just see if you can let it go and just be with the pose, just be in the pose. So we'll start by sitting cross-legged on your mat. You might need a cushion underneath to increase the height of your hips so that your knees can descend. Have your hands relaxed on your knees or your thighs. You may like to flutter your eyelids closed. And start to focus on your breath. The air coming in and out of your nostrils. And as you breathe in, just feel the length in your spine. And as you breathe out, anchor your sit bones into the ground, into your mat. Breathe in, expanding through the abdomen, the chest, across the shoulders. And breathe out, anchoring down into your mat. Breathe in and stretching long in the spine. Breathing out, relaxing your shoulders away from the ears. On your next breath in, just straighten up the spine a little bit more, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And imagine there's a thread from the top of your crown up to the sky, just creating space between the vertebrae. And as you exhale, just relax the muscles, grounding the sit bones into the mat. And keeping your eyes closed if that's available to you. On the next breath in, just tuck your chin in very slightly and turn your head to the right. Just notice how that feels. And on the exhale, come back to center. And then inhale, chin still tucked, turning your head to the left. And exhale, back to center. One more time on each side. Inhale to the right. Exhale to center. And inhale to the left. Exhaling to center. This time on the inhale, just lower your right ear towards your right shoulder and lower your left shoulder away down towards the mat. A stretch on your left neck muscles. Inhale, coming up to center. And exhale, left ear to left shoulder, lowering your right shoulder. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, coming over to the right side. Feeling that stretch in the left side of your neck. Inhale, coming up. And exhale to the left. And inhale, coming back to center. You may like to flutter your eyelids open, or you might like to trust yourself and keep them closed. Have your hands on the floor next to you, palms up. Inhale and stretch your arms out to the side and up overhead, palms facing, squeezing the elbows together. And then exhale, palms together and hands down to heart center. Inhale, stretching your arms out to the side. Take up space nice and wide and up above the head. And then hands together, exhaling, palms to heart center. And one more time. Inhaling, stretching your arms out to the side, stretching wide, up overhead, then hands together, exhaling, palms to heart center. Changing it up now, inhaling, stretching out and up. And exhaling, turning to the right. Looking over your right shoulder. Left hand to the outside of your right knee. Inhale, stretching back to center. And exhale, looking over your left shoulder, turning to the left. Right hand on the outside of your left knee. Left hand's behind you, supporting you. Inhale, stretching up, back to center. And this time, exhale and sweep your hands behind you, fingers pointing to the back, squeezing your elbows and shoulder blades together, and inhale as you stretch your neck up, looking up at the ceiling, arching through the back. Feel that stretch in your front body. Your pubic bone all the way up to your chin, to your forehead, the crown of your head. On your next inhale, come up to vertical, hands above the head. And exhale, bending forward from the hips, raining your hands down in front of you. Inhale and stretch your chin and chest forward. And exhale, lower your chin and chest towards your legs. Take a couple of breaths in this forward fold. And on your next inhale, stretch your arms up, palms together and hands to heart center. Wonderful. Now we'll come into child's pose. So knees the width of your mat and your big toes touching. Lowering your chest and forehead to the mat, sweeping your hands in front of your arms, stretched out wide. So stretched out in front of you. Just take a couple of breaths here, expanding through the back body. And exhale, you might like to lower your hips closer to your ankles, pushing away the earth with your hands, pushing back. Inhale again, feeling the expansion through your side body this time. And exhale, melting into the mat. And just rock your head from side to side, massaging the area between your eyes, letting go of anything that has or hasn't happened today, this week, or even this month. Making your way into tabletop position, wrists under your shoulders and knees under your hips. Toes pointing straight back, neutral spine. So the crown points straight forward, tailbone back, and your core is activated. Your navel is tucked towards your spine. Cat cow, inhale, drop the belly towards the mat, hips to the sky, and draw a line upwards with your nose for cow. And then exhale, tucking in your chin and rounding through the back for cat. Inhale for cow, shining your heart space forward. And exhale for cat. Pushing the earth away from you, tucking in the tailbone. A couple more cat-cows in your own time, being guided by your breath. Inhaling for cow and exhaling for cat. And then come back to neutral spine. Just make sure you're steady on your knees and your hands, remembering to press into the tips of your fingers and especially your little finger and your thumb. Raising your right knee out towards the side, like a dog about to pee on a fire hydrant, and then make circles with your right knee. Keep your hips level with the mat, circling around 5 circles. I've done 2, 3, 4, 5, and then change directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and return your right knee to the ground. Left knee this side, so left knee goes out to the side, and make big circles with your left knee for 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and return your left knee to the mat. This time, just keeping your spine long, tucking in your navel. Raise your left foot directly behind you so that your left thigh is parallel with the mat. And your foot is sticking up in the air. And we'll just raise that foot up and down, pumping it up and down a few times. Exercising the glutes. So your calf is vertical, your thigh is parallel with the mat. You can flex your foot for an extra bit of tension in your leg as well. So really working the glutes. And return your left knee to the mat. And the right leg. So the right knee and thigh are parallel with the mat. The calf is vertical, flexing the foot and pump that knee up towards the sky. Two more. And return that knee to the mat. Well done. Fantastic. Okay. So just sway backwards and forwards over your knees, over your wrists. Warming up your joints. Now tuck your toes under. And next time you sway backwards, lift up your hips and come back into downward facing dog. Pressing through the fingertips, eyes at the elbows, roll forward, point forward, broad through the collarbones. Nod your head yes, shake it no to release the neck. Chest is tracking towards the mat. Bend both knees towards your chest. See if you can get your chest a little bit closer to the mat. And then gently straighten or partially straighten your legs. And keep your chest where it is. Hips up to the sky. Inhale and raise your right leg up into the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, round your knee through to your chest, to your nose, and round back. Inhale, stretch your leg up to the sky. And this time, exhale and step your right foot in between your hands. May need more than one go to get there. May need to adjust your leg. Wonderful. And now that you're here, your right leg is in a square. You're doming your fingertips probably, and keep your left thigh active, so off the ground. And just flex backwards and forwards, so rolling over your left toes and over your right ankle. Just feeling that stretch. And then settle into your high runner's lunge. Your right knee is over your right ankle, and you're stretching back through your left heel. Wonderful. Ground both hands firmly onto the ground, onto the earth. Inhale, and on the exhale, push back into three-legged dog. So the right leg goes up into the air. And this time the right leg comes forward as you exhale and points toward, the knee points towards your right wrist, and then you lower your right leg to the ground. So your right knee is near your right wrist. Your right foot is towards the left side of your mat. And your left leg is stretching back. Your foot is flat on the floor, pointing back. So you're stretching that right hip and the left hip. Half pigeon, half pigeon. Just looking straight ahead. And get in touch with your breathing again, your breath. Relaxing the mouth, the jaw, the tongue. Doing that stretch. I feel it in my right hip, right thigh. You may feel it slightly in your left thigh as well. Tucking in your left toes. Taking weight in your hands. Inhale, and on the exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Right foot goes back, downward facing dog. Well done. And just come onto your knees for a moment and kneel up. And just circle your wrists one way and then the other. Give your hands a bit of a massage, and then we'll go on the other side. So back to downward facing dog. Tucking in the toes, hips to the sky, chest and forehead towards the mat. Legs are straight, heels tracking towards the mat, or you can have a micro bend in your knees if that serves you. Inhale and stretch your left leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. And exhale, rounding through the back, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. And exhale, left foot in between your hands. And again, keeping into this high lunge, hands domed. Your left knee is over your left ankle and your right toes are tucked, pointing straight forward. And just rock backwards and forwards a little bit on your right toes, slightly over your left ankle. Rock backwards and forwards. And then find stillness, left knee over left ankle. Active through the right thigh, stretching back with your right heel and looking forward. You might find you can sink lower down into the hips. And then plant both hands on the ground. Inhale, and on the exhale, come back into three-legged dog. Left leg is up in the sky. Inhale, as you come forward, left knee to left wrist. And lower your left leg down, or your right leg down. So your left toes are towards the right side of your mat. So reclined pigeon, half pigeon on the left side. You may be able to sink further down onto the mat. Breathing deeply, broad through the chest. and relaxing the jaw. And now coming back into downward facing dog. Inhale and tuck in the right toes, press through the hands and push back into downward facing dog. Left leg comes back to the mat, back of the mat. Walk your hands towards your feet and come into ragdoll. Opposite hands, opposite elbows, and sway from side to side, bending one leg and then the other. And then relaxing the hands to the ground. Inhale and coming up vertebrae by vertebrae. Loose through the shoulders and arms. Try and visualize each part of your backbone slowly unfurling, like a frond in the forest. And then circle the shoulders back. Come into the front of your mat. Glutes to the sun. Inhale, stretch your arms out to the side, up overhead, and then rain your hands down, folding from the hips into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on your thighs or your shins, torso parallel with the mat. And exhale for forward fold. Bend your knees if that serves you. And then inhale and come up, spreading your hands wide, arms up above the head, and then hands to heart center. And just stand in Tandasana for a moment. Anchoring through the four corners of your feet. Just check in with whether you've been enjoying the poses so far, whether there have been any that you haven't liked, you've had an aversion to. Just see if you can let go of those opinions and just let each pose do its work. Inhale, stretch your arms out to the side, up overhead. Rain your hands down as you bend from the hips into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale for forward fold. Inhale, come up, spread your arms wide, hands overhead, and hands to heart center. With your hands at heart center, just take a moment to relax the shoulders down. Send the crown of the head up to the sky, towards the sky, tail towards the earth. And as you breathe in, feel the energy rise up through your feet. And as you breathe out, allow the energy to wash back down over you. Inhale, put your hands down by your side, then out, and stretch up overhead. And exhale, fold forward for salute to the sun. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands on the floor, forward fold, and then step back into dog pose. Inhale in dog pose, and then exhale, knees to the floor and shoulders over the wrists for supported plank. Looking just ahead of you on the floor, shoulders going down the back. Active core, very active in your navel, coming towards your spine. Inhale, stretch your crown long, and then exhale, lower slowly to the ground. Elbows towards your ribs. Very slowly come down until your torso is on the floor. You might need to adjust where you are on your mat. Hands under your shoulders, elbows into the waist. Inhale for cobra, curling the head, then the chest off the mat, pressing through the feet so the knees are rooting off the mat. And exhale, relaxing down. Inhale, one more time, up into cobra, drawing a line with your nose upwards. And exhale, coming back down. Tucking in your toes. Inhale, push back into tabletop and then up into downward facing dog. Walk your feet towards your hands and roll up to standing. Wonderful. Stand into Tadasana for a moment. Broad across the collarbone. Notice you are breathing, expanding your lungs, expanding through the chest. And then relaxing down. Sleep to the sun B. Sleep to the sun with standing poses. Inhale, stretch your arms out to the side, up above your head. Exhale and bend forward for forward fold, raining your hands down. Inhale for halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Planting your hands, inhale. And on the exhale, come back to downward facing dog. Inhale and raise your right leg up into the sky for three-legged dog. And exhale, bring your foot in between your hands, right foot in between your hands. Your right toes point forward, your left foot is at 45 degrees. Foot flat on the mat. We're going into warrior two. So your right leg is in a square, right knee over right ankle, and tracking towards your second and third toes. Don't let it come in past the midline or out past the foot. Inhale and stretch your left hand forward, and then cartwheel it back towards the back of your mat as you come up for warrior two. Shoulders over hips. Pressing through your back heel to keep your left leg active and sinking into your right thigh. Imagine your arms are being stretched so that your little fingers are closer together. Looking over your right fingers. Warrior two. Inhale, and on the inhale, stretch both hands up above your head and straighten your right leg. Exhale and come back to warrior two. Inhale and come back, straight leg, arms above your head. And exhale, come back to warrior two. This time, inhale, flip your right hand and raise it up to the sky, left hand to left thigh, reversing your warrior. Inhale, stretch your right arm up, and exhale as you bring your right forearm down to your right thigh, and then stretch your left arm over your left ear. Should be one line of energy from your left heel all the way through to your left little finger. Left little finger is facing down towards the earth, or is on the earth, the down side, and the palm of your left hand is facing to the right side of your mat. Angle pose. Inhale and come back to warrior two. And as you exhale, point both feet towards the left-hand side of your mat. Wonderful. Put your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra, and come down into goddess pose. Might not have done this for a little while, so we're going to sway to the right and then to the left as we come down to a wide-legged squat. Trying to lean back into the squat rather than forward. Wonderful. Inhale here, just try and straighten up the back and tuck in the tail. Excellent. And then exhale and relax down, hands to the floor, under your face, and you can straighten your legs. You may be able to widen your stance now and have each wrist under your shoulders and swaying from side to side. Your legs are straight. You're just swaying your torso from side to side, getting that stretch through your lower back. And you may find that you can get closer to the floor as you do this. And once you finish swaying, just move your hands so they're more or less in line with your feet. Fingers pointing towards the left side of your mat, and your elbows will be bent. And then lean down towards the floor. Probably feel the stretch in your inner thighs, hamstrings. Take a couple of breaths here. Then walk your hands forward so they're under your face. Inhale and stretch your right arm up to the side and then up to the ceiling, looking at your hand. And then exhale, bring the right hand back. Plant your right hand. Inhale, stretch your left hand out to the side and up to the ceiling, looking at your hand. And exhale, bringing it back under your face. Wonderful. Walk your hands towards the front of the mat. Turn your feet so they're both pointing the front of the mat, and your hands are framing your right foot and your right leg is in a square. Inhale here and exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Left side now. Inhale and raise your left leg up into the sky, toes pointing down, three-legged dog. Exhale, left foot between your hands. So just get ready for warrior two here. So left toes point forward. Right foot is at 45 degrees flat on the mat. So your left leg is in a square, your left knee is over your left ankle. Inhale, stretch your right hand out forward and then cartwheel it towards the back of your mat as you come up for warrior two on the left side. Heart stacked over navel, looking along your left hand. You might like to just check back at your back arm and make sure it's actually at the same level as your left arm. As you inhale, just stretch your spine up. As you exhale, see if you can sink a little bit further into that front leg. And inhale, straighten your front leg, straighten your arms, hands overhead. And exhale back to warrior two. Inhale, stretching arms up, left leg is straight. And exhale back to warrior two. Roll your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, flip your left palm and point your hand up to the sky. Stretch your arm up to the sky. Right hand on right thigh. Reversing your warrior. On your next inhale, stretch your left hand up. And then as you exhale, bring your left forearm down to your left thigh. Make sure that your left leg is still in a square. And then bring your right arm over your head. Right fingers pointing forward. Palm facing left so that your little finger is at the bottom of your hand. See if you can tuck in your left buttock. So your left thigh is rotating out. Inhale, stretching your right hand back into warrior two again. The legs stay in the same position. And then we're going to point both toes towards the right side of the mat. So that wide stance again. Hands come to heart center. And once again, starting with the left side this time, we're going to shimmy down into goddess pose. So wide stance for a squat. So left and then the right, till you get to the point that you're comfortable. And just see if you can get your spine up to the vertical or close to vertical, pressing through the outside edges of your feet for stability. Inhale, stretch your spine up. And exhale, relax down and put your hands on the floor in front of you, under your face. You might be able to step your feet out a little bit wider. Feet can be pointing straight towards the side of your mat or slightly out, slightly in. You can play around with that a bit. And then put your hands under your shoulders and just sway from side to side. See if you can lower your torso as you're going and just stretch out those muscles. And then walk your hands so they're level with your feet, all in line. Your elbows are pointing backwards, your arms are bent. And just see if you can bend a little bit further towards your mat. Feeling the stretch in your thighs, hamstrings, groin, and the lower back. And then bringing your hands, walking your hands back under your face, planting your right hand this time. Inhale, left hand comes out to the side and up towards the sky. And exhale, bring it back down to the ground. Inhale, the right hand stretches out to the side, up to the sky. And exhale, stretching it back out and then down. Slowly walking your hands towards the front and your feet start to point towards the front. So your left foot is in between your hands, your right foot is towards the back of the mat. Inhale and exhale, going back to downward facing dog. Well done. Finishing off sun salutation B. Inhale, come onto your knees and into a supported plank, shoulders over wrists, elbows in towards your ribs, and exhale as you lower yourself down to the mat. Hands under your shoulders, pressing onto the tops of your feet so your knees come off the mat. Inhale into cobra. And exhale, lowering your head and shoulders down. Grounding through your hands, tucking in your toes. Inhale, coming back into tabletop, and then pushing up into downward facing dog. And walk your feet towards your hands. A forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale for forward fold. And inhale, spread your hands wide Take up space either side, coming up, hands above the head, palms together and coming down. Exhale to heart center. Excuse me. Well done. Okay. Now we're going to do some balancing. So first of all, standing in Tadasana, top of your mat. Just feel the space in your spine, the width across your shoulders, and just stability through the four corners of your feet. And inhale, stretch your hands up above your head, palms facing. And as you exhale, bring your hips to the back and bend down as though you were sitting into a chair pose. So your knees are towards the back of your towards your ankles, rather than over your feet. And it's as though you're sitting down, stretching your arms out straight. Inhale, stretch your arms up, and then exhale, bring them to heart center, still in your chair position. Inhale here, and then exhale, bring the outside of your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh, or a twist in seat pose in chair. So you're pressing your hands together, your right elbow is pointing towards the sky, and you're looking towards your right elbow. A twist in chair pose. Just look at your knees and make sure that one isn't tracking in front of the others. They should be parallel. Inhale, come back to center. Should be feeling this in your thighs and your glutes now. And exhale, right outside of the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Pressing your hands together, looking towards your left elbow. Inhale and come back to center. Exhale and fold forward. Let's take a rest here. Inhale and halfway lift. And from this halfway lift, spread your arms out wide. And then inhale and come back up to mountain pose, hands over your head. And then hands back to heart center. Okay. Standing back in Tadasana. Balancing on our right foot. So just pick up your right foot and place it back down very consciously, thinking about the four corners of your foot, your right foot. So that's the base of your little toe, your big toe, base of the big toe, and the two edges of your heel. So thinking about being in Tadasana, lightly raise the left heel. You've still got your left toes on the ground. Bend your right knee and wrap your left thigh around your right thigh, putting your left toes on the ground. So your right leg is bent. Hands to heart center. This is the beginning of eagle legs. Just looking forward, relaxing your shoulders down and allowing yourself this balance. Your left toes are supporting you. Your right leg is working. And then inhale. As you inhale, raise your left leg up so your thigh is parallel with the ground. Your hands are above your head. Find that focal point to keep your balance. And then exhale, pivot your left leg back and straighten it. Right, your hands come back towards your hips, pointing backwards for a lightning pointer. So your left foot is pointing down. Inhale, come back through that pivot. Hands come forward and above your head. Left thigh comes up. And hands to heart center and relax your left foot down. Good work. Try it on the left side now. So lifting up your left foot and purposefully placing your toes, the base of your big toe, the base of your little toe, and the two corners of your heel on the mat. Picking up the heel of your right foot, taking the weight in your left leg, left glute is active. And then bend your left leg, cross your right leg over your left, just have your right toes on the ground. So you're balancing, and then hands to heart center. Find that point of balance that you can look at. See if you can just have a light gaze on that point. You may even be able to have an internal point of balance. Something a bit abstract. Inhale and raise your hands above your head, palms facing, and your right leg is, your right thigh is parallel with the ground, your calf is vertical. You're balancing on your left leg. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Then exhale, bring your hands forward and pivot across so your right leg is pointing back and your hands are pointing back by your thighs, by your hips. If you wobble, just regain your balance. Right toes pointing down, stretching through the back of the right leg to the heel. Then inhale, coming back up so that your right leg is in the square and your right thigh is parallel with the mat. Hands above your head. Then exhale, coming down. Foot goes to the ground. Hands to heart center. And then back to Tadasana. Well done. And now we'll go down onto the mat for Tandasana, staff pose, sitting down, legs straight in front of us. Hands by your hips, fingers pointing forwards. Toes towards the shins. The shoulders away from the ears. Broad through the collarbones. Dandasana. It's a good time to check in, work out which of those poses precipitated a bit of a response, whether you're attached or averted to those poses. And bend your right leg and have your sole of your right foot next to your left thigh. Inhale, stretch your arms up overhead, facing your left leg. Exhale, bending from the hips, stretch forward, hands stretching forward, chin and chest stretching forward. And then relax your hands to the ground. You might grab hold of your thigh, your shin, or your foot, depending on how you feel tonight. And you may have a bend in your knee. Inhale and just stretch your chest and your chin forward. And as you exhale, start to drop your head slightly, drop your shoulders slightly towards your leg. And in each inhale, come up, stretching forward. And on the exhale, just start to drop and soften down a little bit further. One more inhale. Exhale and soften. Inhale, stretching your hands forward above your head and then down heart center. Standing your right leg up, the right foot is next to your left thigh. Wrap your right leg, wrap your left arm around your right leg. Inhale, stretch your right hand up to the sky. Drop it towards the back of the mat to support you, maybe domed, maybe flat, depending on your length of your limbs. And look over your right shoulder. A simple twist. Inhale, stretching the body up. Crown of the head goes high towards the sky. And exhale as you soften into the twist, looking a little bit further over your right shoulder. Inhale and create space, and exhale and twist. Keeping your legs where they are, inhale and come around to the other side, exhaling as your hands frame your left hip. And come back to center. Straighten your right leg. Sole of the left foot is now next to the right thigh. Sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, stretch your arms out, the side up overhead. And exhale, bending forward from the hips, chin and chest lead, hands straight out in front of you. Inhale, stretch forward, and exhale, relax your hands down to the mat, your thigh, your shin, or your foot. Inhale as you shine your heart space forward, and exhale as you soften towards your leg. Release any tension in your face. Inhale, stretch your hands forward, up above your head, and then hands to heart center as you exhale. Have your left foot flat on the mat next to your right thigh. Wrap your right arm around your left shin. Inhale, stretch your left hand up towards the sky, and then drop it behind you as you start to twist, looking over your left shoulder. So with your right toes pointed towards your right shin, tucking the left thigh towards your body. Inhale and stretch up. And exhale, looking over that shoulder a little bit further, over to the left, to the back of your mat. Tuck in your chin. Stretch up your spine through the crown. And exhale as you soften and twist. One more inhale. And exhale and twist. Keeping the legs where they are. Unwind and look towards your right hip. Frame your right hip with your hands. A counter twist. And then come back to center. And this time we're going to do something we haven't done before, which is just move our right foot off the mat as far as we can go, and our left foot off the mat as far as we can go. So wide angle forward fold. So you might like to take any flesh around your sit bones away to give you a greater purchase on the floor. Have your toes pointing towards your shins. We'll inhale Stretch your arms above the head and exhale as we rain our hands forward, bending from the hips, again leading with the chin and chest, and then just relax the hands down. And as we did when we were standing in our standing poses, we're going to sway from side to side. So just move towards your right hand and then your left hand. Just feel that stretch right in your hips, in your hamstrings. That's where I feel it. You might feel it somewhere different. See if you can get your forearms onto the ground. And just do a little bit of stretching from side to side. And then walk your hands forward a little way. Inhale as you lead with your chest and your chin. Then exhale and soften forward. You may like to get hold of your shins and have your elbows pointing upwards and outwards to help you. You may be able to use your peace fingers to get hold of your big toes. Elbows again pointing outwards to help you lean forward a little further. Inhale and come up. And exhale, bring your legs back to the center of the mat. Wonderful. Okay, lowering ourselves down to the mat. Just round the back and lower down slowly onto the mat. As slowly as you can. Getting ready for bridge pose. So feet flat on the mat behind the buttocks. And hands by our hips, palms facing down close to the body. Just lengthen through the spine, the crown of the head, and tuck the chin in slightly. And keep looking up at the ceiling as you inhale, press through the heels, hips raise, glutes are active. Bridge pose, pressing through the arms, forearms, upper arms, and the back of the head, looking straight up at the ceiling, lengthening through the spine. Feel your tailbone stretching away from your shoulders, active in the glutes. Big inhale here, broad through the chest, and then exhale, lowering the spine back to the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae. We'll do that one more time. You might like to tuck your shoulder blades in by rolling to the left and tucking your right shoulder blade in, rolling to the right and tucking your left shoulder blade in. So your hands will be closer to your hips. Check that you're looking straight up at the ceiling. Inhale, press through the heels. Hips go to the sky, active through the glutes. And this time, just take the weight in your left foot, pressing through your hands and arms, and see if you can raise that right leg up to the sky. And lower it gently. Just regain the height in your bridge. Inhale, on the exhale, raise your left leg to the sky. And on the exhale, lower it down. And again, regain the height in your bridge. And then lower your vertebrae down to the mat, one at a time. Bring both knees in towards your chest. Clasp your hands around your shins and just roll from side to side, giving yourself a massage in the lower back. Plant your left foot on the floor behind your buttock. Have your right shin crossing over your left thigh. Right hip falls away from the shoulder. Thread your hands through behind your left thigh, figure 4. You can place your head on the ground. Pull your left thigh towards you, and you can use your right elbow to push your right knee away from you. Active in the feet. So the toes are pointing towards both shins. Figure 4 on the floor. Supine figure 4. Place your left foot on the ground. Release your arms. And cross your right leg tightly over your left. And have both knees drop to the right. Your hands can be out in T. Supine twist. As we start to cool down, as you inhale, fill up through your left lung. And relax, just noticing your shoulders and your right hip on the ground. The back of your head, your foot on the ground. Inhale, tuck your navel to spine and bring your legs back to center, head back to center. And we'll go on the other side. So plant your right foot behind your buttock. Cross your left shin over your right thigh. And as you exhale, bring your right knee towards you. Thread your hands behind your right thigh. Bring your head back to the ground. And with your left elbow, press away your left knee. Figure 4 on the other side. Active toes, so toes pointing towards your shins. And release your grip. Bring your right foot next to your buttock. Have a tight cross of your left thigh over your right thigh. And drop both knees to the left. Looking to the right, hands out in T shape. Inhale through your right side body. Inhale, fill up with beautiful, fresh energy. And exhale, and notice how the earth is supporting you. Inhale and bring your legs back to center, head back to center. And exhale, send your legs long, getting ready for Shavasana. Hands by your side, palms up. Allow your feet to roll out to the side. Check that your neck is long and your chin is slightly tucked. And focus on your breathing. The rise and fall of your chest. Of your abdomen and your shoulders. As the body starts to relax, imagine each part of your body relaxing down, down into the earth, supported and held. Feet and ankles relax. Shins and knees relax. Thighs and hips relax. Pelvis relaxes down. Hands and wrists relax. Forearms and elbows, relax. Upper arms and shoulders, relax. Collarbones, relax down. Abdomen, buttocks, relax. Chest relaxes down. Throat relaxes. The jaw relaxes. Pull your lips back from your teeth and then replace them with a gentle smile. Let your tongue relax in your mouth. Raise your eyebrows and stretch your scalp, and then relax your eyebrows down. Eyes heavy in their sockets. Skin of your face relaxes and softens. And as the body relaxes, so the mind follows into stillness. If thoughts arise, just let them pass like clouds in the sky. No need to hop on board. And when you're ready, invite a little gentle movement. Graze your fingertips with your thumbs. Move your feet and ankles. Start to deepen your breath as you stretch your legs long. Stretch your arms overhead. Have a full body stretch. And then curl in tight. Give yourself a hug. And when you're ready, roll to one side. And then push up into sitting. And we'll finish where we started in Sukhasana, easy seat. You might like to close your eyes and just focus on your breath. The richness coming in and the ability to release as you breathe out. Inhaling and filling up. And exhaling and relaxing yourself down. Inhaling, knowing that everything is as it should be. And exhaling, releasing anything that worries you. Inhale and bring your hands to heart center. And exhale, bowing your thinking mind to your loving heart. In gratitude for practice today. And in gratitude for everything that brought us to practice. The people, the circumstances, and nature itself for supporting our practice. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.